Hi, my name is Joseph Arnold, and today I'm going to be talking about what's the role of performance arts, or maybe even any kind of art, in this new and crazy modern world that we live in. At first, it might not be so obvious. Like, what can I do to help, or how is what I do as a performance artist really relevant to what's going on? The COVID era has brought this question up for a lot of us. Calling us, asking us to question what our role is. Like, are we really just going to be doing the same old thing now, or is there something bigger that we can be doing? And so today, I'm going to be talking about my ideas around this. I call it the 6 pillars of Soulforce performance arts. And these are a reflection of what it means to be an artist in this new sort of information age that we're in. Throughout history, what it means to be an artist has changed. In ancient times, even to call somebody a performance artist would have been unthinkable. This is just somebody who participated in whatever rituals or storytelling that took place in the community. And that was appropriate for the time. And this has changed over the eras to now in modern times. The sort of the conventional role is, we teach, we perform, we maybe participate in this or that arts organization. And there can be a sense, especially now, is like, is this really why I got into the arts? There might be this feeling that you want to do more. You're meant for something more. And that's really what Soulforce performance arts is all about. Like, what is that more? So Soulforce is an idea that comes from Mahatma Gandhi's movement for that kind of inspiring quality that you see in somebody who's facing life's challenges with courage, compassion, and connection, and even playfulness, creativity. And, it's not just for civil rights movements and leaders like Gandhi, but also artists. You think of Aretha Franklin singing Amazing Grace at the temple, some kind of Baptist temple. There's a recording of it. Amazing, so moving. It's performances like that, works of art that move us. This is why we get into the arts. This is why the arts are important, right? And so Soulforce performance arts is about centering that, making that the focus of how we perform, how we practice, how we teach, how we conduct our career. Because that's what I believe the world really needs right now. We don't need more of the old kind of story, the old way of doing things. Because it's this way of doing things that is, part of what's causing the problems of the world. We call it the story of separation. That's what Charles Eisenstein calls it. And this is the story, like, I'm over here, you're over there, and so what I do can't possibly affect you. And what you do doesn't matter because it doesn't affect me. And we can see that this is patently false. Especially something like climate change shows that to us. And funny enough, if you make music or art from this point of view, then you might be contributing to more separation in the world. And that's really what's driving all the destruction that we see around us. So the alternative is the first pillar of Soulforce performance arts, which is the story of Interbeing. Interbeing comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Vietnamese monk, an author. And his idea is that we're not only interconnected, you and I, we inter-are. My being partakes of your being. And that that this is always true. This has always been true throughout history, that we all inter-are with each other. And now, in our global age, to not see this is like civilizational suicide. So to step into this understanding that when a forest dies, part of me dies, that you and your audience are part of the same being. This is the sort of the foundation for Soulforce performance arts. So that's the first pillar. All the understandings of this, of Soulforce performance arts, are based on interbeing. The second is to live your life purpose. So no longer just having a career in the arts. Because, you know, even if you're an opera singer and you get into the top opera company that you always wanted to get into, you get there and first it's great, but then a little while later you realize it's not as great as I thought, maybe. Or you realize you just don't really like doing it. You know, something changes in you. It's not just, you know, having a career isn't enough right now. What Howard Thurman, who is a mentor to Martin Luther King, he said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Instead, ask what makes you come alive and go do that." Because what the world needs are people who've come alive. So just fitting yourself into the machine, even in the arts, is a part of the problem of the world. You know, so you're going to get burnt out. There's going to be a feeling of meaninglessness. And what are the arts about, though? It's about coming alive in yourself. So you get that when you're in touch with your life purpose. That's the process of discovery. But that's one other pillar. So the third pillar is, oh goodness. I should have these memorized, don't you think? Just a moment. This is where the technical difficulties music comes on. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, healing the world. So the purpose of what we do should be about healing the world, because there's a whole lot of healing that needs to happen. And believe it or not, the act of creative expression can be an important part of what it means to heal the world. And this is what my book is about, Soulforce Performance Arts, redefining artistic performance practice and pedagogy in a world that's lost its mind. That's what I'm trying to do, like connecting the act of creative expression with what will bring benefit to global climate change, for instance. There's a lot of healing that's necessary, and we can participate in that healing through how we go about making art. It's not what you do necessarily. You don't need to make your art about climate change. It's more where you're coming from in yourself. Again, coming alive in yourself rather than like just drilling or phoning it in, but really coming alive in how you perform, practice, and teach. That's a big part of what will heal the world. Fourth pillar, one of my favorites, playing from the heart. So creative expression is really only alive, or a bunch of notes only become music when there's a certain kind of listening that happens. You know, we've all heard people just playing notes at us. It's no fun. There's this kind of static quality to certain kinds of performances. And that comes from what you're paying attention to. If you're paying attention to something static, like a bunch of notes on the page, and that's your idea of what the music is, and you're just trying to recreate the notes on the page, then your music's going to be static. Paying attention to something static, your music is static. Paying attention to something alive, the inner audience member, the felt experience, the felt emotional experience of listening to yourself play, that's something alive, paying attention to that will bring your music alive. So it's not like scrunching up your face. That's not the same thing as being expressive, even though we see just about everybody do that. You know, getting really tight and trying harder. Getting tighter interferes with expressivity. And that is our fifth pillar. So learning how to release excess tension. This comes from my understanding of Alexander technique. I had injuries in my arms from playing violin like this. So on the one hand, releasing excess tension, you know, it's better for your body, you're not going to injure yourself. But also, you know, it makes your technique more free when you're releasing that tension. And like everything that we care about in technique is helped by this, by releasing excess tension. And you know, there's a kind of amazing, haunting expressivity that can happen, not through trying to become more expressive, but through letting go. Something shines through about your soul through your music when you let go in that way, or dance, or acting, or whatever you happen to do. So finally, our final pillar here, and then we'll be done, is to focus on well-being. So the point of view of Soulforce Performance Arts is that the quality of your art is a reflection of the quality of your whole self. There's a cliche that a starving artist, or somebody who practices so much that their fingers bleed, or you know, somebody who takes a bunch of drugs in order to improvise well, or something like you hear rock stars or jazzers doing, like that's somehow integral to the artistic process. But it's not, or at least it's not ultimately helpful to do so. Instead, what's actually helpful is to become more whole, more healthy in yourself, more vibrant, because that is, you know, the source of creativity is within you. And if that's working well, if you are working well, then your creativity is going to be more vibrant. And there is certainly something to be said for having gone through difficult things in life and letting that inform your artistic expression. You know, that's part of the idea of Soulforce. You know, what is Soulforce? It's that inspiring quality that comes when you see people face life challenges with courage and compassion and grace. And yet, you'll be better able to do that if you focus on your well-being. Take care of your body, your emotions, your mind, and your spirit. Okay, so these are the 6 pillars of Soulforce Performance Arts. Please do click like on this video, or follow me, or subscribe. You can go to my website, josepharnold.com, and sign up for my email list there. And yeah, I'll be coming out with my book sometime next year, so please do stick around, and yeah, send me any of your questions. This kind of material I think is super important for us right now. As artists, you know, there's can be the sense of despondency, like, oh, what can I even do? And I'm trying to answer that question, and maybe you're interested in answering that question too. Maybe we can do it together. So please do reach out. Okay, I think that's all for today. Stay tuned. I'll see you next time.